with that fish for probably less than a second, but everything was just perfect. The sun was hitting the water at the right angle. The fish was so lit up. It was hues of green and blue and stripes and patterns all over it. It was just ready to feed. That shot has been in my brain for years. I've known what it looks like, and it connected. This is the holy grail of billfish photography. I think that moment was the sort of pinnacle of my experience with that fish. The footage that we have in these videos is basically the tail end of a project that we've been working on for must be 2 years now, to capture still images of a free swimming blue marlin. Normally when you fish with a fishing boat or a marlin boat, it is a rare occasion that a blue marlin will come up behind the boat, and no matter what type of techniques you're using to fish, I was asking these boats in particular that I've worked with to basically take the hooks out of their lures and forego even having a shot at that fish. So it was a very long and tedious process, but began with finding a group of people, in this case the owner of a boat called Click Through, Keith English, and his really accomplished crew, and saying to them, guys, will you bear with me on this one, and let's see what we can do, and see if we can bring a marlin to the boat and control it. I joined the boat a few days later. I flew over to Bermuda. As I arrived at the boat, we sat down with the crew and said to the guys, this is what I want to do. And the initial reaction was quite humorous. I think these guys were shaking their heads going, you want to do what? It was a process that didn't happen immediately, and we went through or began this very long learning curve. As the call for the initial lure went out, I literally had 5 to 15 seconds to get into my mask and fins, grab my camera, and bail off the correct side of the boat. You know, to tell you the truth, it's a pretty scary experience. You jump in the water, you get sucked around and messed around by the cavitation and bubble trail of the boat. As you right yourself and get focused and realize that there's a lure coming at you at 8 knots, probably about 12 miles an hour. And on the back of that, there's a fish with a very long bill, a very long spiky bill, you know, chasing that lure. The problem there were the shots were so fast. I was in the water, I got to see the fish for 3 or 4 seconds and it was gone. I wasn't getting the quality time I needed. And then the trip came to an end, and we had basic information, we had tried a few techniques, but we were a long way from getting this thing right. The funny thing about traveling around the world and trying for this shot is you seem to get a lot of that, well, you should have been here yesterday, or you should, oh, this is not the right destination, you need to try that destination. In Bermuda it was, well, you know, we could do this even better if we tried this in St. Thomas, because of the number of fish raised and the size of the fish and so on. And I thought, well, you know, let's give it a try. Keith was very kind enough to invite me back down to join his boat in St. Thomas. The first day I arrived, we chatted amongst the crew and decided that we were going to change things up a little bit from our experience in Bermuda. So right off the bat, we decided, let's shut things down and slow the boat down tremendously and see what happens. We did deal with the 3 or 4 days of some very big sea, but things came right for us, and every fish that we sort of raised, we started slowing the boat down more and more and more, and eventually we came to the conclusion that we could control this fish. The most exciting was our second to last day when the sea was just incredible. It was completely flat. It was just dream conditions. We got in with fish after fish after fish after fish. I think we raised 5 blues that day. I was getting closer and closer and closer, and then I believe it was fish number 4 or fish number 5. I got in the water. At that stage I was completely calm and relaxed. There was no more dashing around to see, am I going to get this, am I going to get this, where's this fish, where's this fish. and this blue marlin came straight for me, directly for the camera. I had an opportunity to just focus the camera, and I let go with the motor drive. And I remember the fish going past. My brain just said to me, you've got it, you've got it, you've got the shot. And this is what it is. This is what it feels like to get the shot. I swam back to the boat. I handed up the camera. I've got to sort of do a seal bounce to get through the door that's actually designed to pull fish through. I rolled over and I looked up and said, guys, we can go home now. And they were all confused, and I've got the shot. I think that my knees shook for the next half an hour. I was hyperventilating. I was high-fiving everyone. Everyone was so excited, and it was great to see the excitement in the crew. You know, this was their work as well as mine, and it was this dream sequence that came together. You know, I don't say I'm the first person ever to do this, jumping in the water with blues, unhooked and swimming with them and so on. There are other people who've done it, but this was a monumentous occasion for me personally, and I got the shot that hasn't been shot. It's not just a blue marlin swimming, free swimming in the water. It's a blue marlin in its just most exaggerated coloration and mode and aggression while it feeds. I don't think it gets any more real and explosive than these images. Once we had the still that we were looking for, we decided to start shooting some video on the last day. Conditions again were fantastic. This was always going to be the last fish of the day. It was late in the afternoon. You can see the water is a lot darker, and this fish came in its completely black. Its melanin coating was completely on. He seemed to be distracted all of a sudden. His color changed very quickly. You can see a white look on his face with a white belly, and then continued to circle me and just circle me. I think in total it was almost 4 minutes. It then swam away. I switched off the video camera, and bang! I had been T-boned in the back left thigh by this shark. I got over the initial fright and hit the record on the camera, and that's where you see the sharks coming back to me. And initially I thought, you know, it's 1 or 2 sharks, maybe 3, and I can handle that. It's fine. And I didn't call to the boat initially, but the sharks kept coming, and they kept coming, and they kept coming. And as I turned around, there were more and more and more. At this stage, I realized that there was a problem. You know, I can by myself in the water handle 2, 3 of these silky sharks, but they were gesturing, they were ready to feed. These were not curious sharks. The shark that you see coming directly from the deep and coming straight up to me and looking straight into the camera, looking for an opportunity to get around the big camera housing to have a bite, was the point at which I stuck my head out the water and shouted, "Sharks!" As soon as my guys realized and I called, they just dropped everything, backed the boat down.
Oh, God. Good shot, man. Oh, good shot, buddy. Come back. Good job. Come back. Be careful.
And I started swimming towards them in a hurry with these guys literally at my fingertips. And this is why I deal with these sort of people. I trust them, I trust the captain, I trust the mates, and they were incredible. I think they got almost as big a fright as I did, and it's nice to have that level of care about people you put your trust and your life in, basically, when you're in the water like that. This entire St. Thomas trip, and it's not just St. Thomas, it's the work that we've done up till then, was incredible. And I keep on using that word again, incredible, and it was. I'm over the moon and overjoyed with the stills I was able to shoot while I was there, and the interactions I had in the water with these incredible fish. They're magnificent. They are truly the the pinnacle of billfish, pelagic fish, open ocean feeders. I hope you enjoyed this sort of behind the scenes video into the shooting of our blue marlin still shots here at Okio, and please feel free to join us via our website and our blog, as well as our spot tracker to keep live updates of where we're shooting and what we're shooting. Hope to see you again.